दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ ಚೆನ್ನೈ Hyderabad Express University Station Netaji Bhogle.
Look up the definition of the word roller coaster in the English dictionary. And you see words like steep inclines and descents and sharp curves and turns. The only difference between this innings and a roller coaster ride is that at the end of a roller coaster, you feel a certain adrenaline rush. You feel a certain high. This innings had a lot of those twists and turns, and yet it ends up on a very underwhelming note. Only 187 for 8. The reason I say only is because they were 68 in the power play, 102 at the end of 10. And after Brevis got out, this innings just went down south. And a couple of 40s from Mhatre Brevis, Dube at a strike rate of 120, scored 39, 185 on the board. Enough or not, we'll find out from two very lively gentlemen on Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. Sir, please help me make sense of this.
Yeah, I think I'll have to start with, I think he's in mourning a little bit because he was one short. One short on the game. So he put up this brave face saying, I don't care, it's just a game. And he's quietly asking how much he was on and how many they need. But you mentioned the roller coaster. You're funny.
Was it not?
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. Yeah. But you said when you get out of a roller coaster, there's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
I've only been on a roller coaster twice, and each time I got off the roller coaster, I've done a little prayer saying, thank God I'm alive. And I've never been on a roller coaster, but your point is absolutely valid. Up and down. First 2 overs, they bought 12, 13 for 2. Yeah. Then they go up, then down again.
Yeah.
And then the down in the last 3 overs.
Yeah.
I would love to know what Dhoni, the captain, is telling Dhoni, the finisher, in the change room. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, quite obviously. I mean, you saw from those figures right there that there isn't the crescendo that you need, and it's almost indicative of these ingredients that we're talking about in terms of trying to build a team. Before the start of the game, we're saying you need to fix X, you need to fix Y, and there's a Z at the end there where you want a team that can withstand if they lose wickets and still have somebody at the back end who would, smash it and get runs. In times past, that was him. That's what he did. That's the exact job he did. But time waits for no man, right? And that's just kind of what it is. So I sort of think it's, yes, he's in the job and he's supposed to kind of go and do it. I think it's a futile exercise saying, he should X, he should Y, because
I thought that once Brevis went, it was up to Dube to play the big hitter's role. When you come to the last 2-3 overs, you can't have one hitting, you have both hitting. And that partnership, it'll be interesting to see exactly how that partnership went, how much they put on and how many deliveries, because
43 of 33.
43 of 33 is not good enough if you want to get past 200. For all that, they might win with these runs because it's Royals in the chase.
Yep.
But you definitely want much more when you have a Dube and a Dhoni batting in the last, 5.5 overs.
Dhoni, 16 of 17, just the 1-6 strike rate of only 94. Dube, 39 of 32, strike rate of 121. Now, execution is one, tactics is another. What is the problem that CSK are trying to solve for next season? What is Ashwin doing batting at 4? Is he your number 4 for next season?
No, so
it's tactical, I think.
Yeah, it is tactical, and you can't be inflexible, right? And also, you've got to use what you've got. And as far as CSK are concerned, we're sitting here talking about Jadeja going to number 4, and the reason he did was not because that's what they picked him as. In fact, we'd be discussing him here having come in at the back end to try and make sure that the start they got kind of ensured they got past 200. So to lengthen that order and to not have to dip into the resources of your impact sub, that's probably why they send Ashwin up at the top. Right, it's an attempt to sort of just elongate that. He can use the power play, not probably as well as a Brevis would, but use what you have and go with it. And it nearly worked. I say it nearly worked, not from a perspective of him getting runs, that Brevis comes in and doesn't have as long to go and is able to sort of, get about them.
Brevis came in at number 6 in the 7th over. Holding back your better players, is that a sign of not having enough belief in those that go in at 1, 2, 3, 4?
They see Brevis and Dube playing that role. And increasingly, I think they see Brevis playing that role over Dube because Dube comes in even later. So they wanted Brevis to be there to finish at the end. So sometimes you elongate the beginning. It's a theory that's got its backers and it's a theory that's got its critics. That you elongate the front so that you've got your finishers there to finish at the end. They needed, if they had to get to 200, they had to have Brevis batting deep into the 18th, 19th over.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm not as convinced that Dube is at his peak, and I don't know if he's just lost his edge a little bit to finish because they're tending to define Dube by what he cannot do rather than what he can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you also have, guys, is when teams are not going well, there is the expectation of rescue acts all the time. But if you look at the way guys do really well, it's when the pieces all fall together. And when the pieces all fall together and each one in their position does what they do and does it well, then it allows for whoever else to, in their place, kind of do what they're kind of chosen for, right? And so the rescue act, so to ask a Shivam Dube, come on in, play normally and still strike at 160 despite the fact that you're 5 down, that's not really going to happen. But if you shift the situation, you get a start. So let's say Mhatre and gets them something up at the top, and Orville gets going, and they use the power play, and then Brevis and Dube in the middle come along and they take on spin and they whack it. That way, you probably see it kind of fall into place better. But when you're sort of trying to catch up with the game, sometimes it just doesn't work. And in a season like this, we've got to be careful, like you say, not to judge the guys on the things that they're failing to do, which might not necessarily be their job. And it's not as simple as you're just supposed to get runs. That's not how it goes.
Yeah. 43 of 20 for Ayush Mhatre. Gorgeous innings, wasn't it?
At the top, yes.
Yeah.
So you're seeing some pieces working for CSK. And two big pieces that are working for them at the moment are Ayush Mhatre at the top and Mhatre Brevis in the middle.
Yeah.
But you see what happens to that power play without Mhatre. They're 12 for 2, right? I'm just looking down this. They've already lost Conway and they've lost Urville. Yeah. Ashwin has come in now.
Yeah.
So it's really up to Mhatre to take that innings ahead, which he did.
Yep.
So if you're looking at a batting lineup as an ensemble cast, as we do very often, as we must, then his job was to go and maximize the power play and then go on, and he's done that. So he's played his role perfectly. He would have liked to have made it 80, 90, whatever, but he's played his part.
43 his runs, all those in the power play, 68 in the power play. He scored 43 of those 68. So clearly he had the license to thrill, and looks like he's okay with the role he's been given, and he seems to have the talent as well.
It looks a good player. And it's one thing to look one, and it's another to be one, right?
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he's being given the opportunity.
Yeah.
I like that this opportunity, despite it coming at a time where kind of mentally, for many who are in the squad, it'll be a difficult time because despite trying not to kind of mope around, there's almost been nothing to play for. And it's as if I'll contradict myself when I say when there's nothing to play for those who were selected and were in the team, those who weren't will see opportunity, because whilst we said, this season's done, it's not done. No season's ever done because the IPL is perpetual, isn't it? It's a never-ending season. If you're not going to win it this time, you've got to do something in order that you're the guy who's playing the next time. And for Ayush Mhatre, as they try to work out, pieces in the puzzle, how do we go? Gaikwad, Mhatre, that looks pretty good already with Gaikwad away and Mhatre doing well in his absence. And then you fill in the rest, whether it's Orville, Brevis, Jadeja, whatever you want, as you go down the list. And when they start next season, it'll be about starting really well and continuing from here.
Two one-cap players in focus on that Rajasthan Royals bowling card as well. And there has been talk of why they're not playing Akash Madhwal even when Archer was around and he was bowling really well. He had to wait in the wings. Tushar Deshpande played today as he had to because no Jofra Archer. Where has this Madhwal been? Why have they not used him earlier?
Akash Madhwal?
Yep.
I don't know. Look, he had a very good season for Mumbai Indians 2 years ago.
Yep.
When Bumrah wasn't playing, he played that part. So I was a little surprised that Mumbai didn't retain him. No, they retained him last year. They let him go.
Yeah.
They let Anshul Kamboj go. There's two bowlers that I thought were sort of standout bowlers almost. So today was asking a lot of him. Remember in the com box we talked about he's only coming on after the 10th over.
Yeah.
So it's asking a lot of someone to say you're bowling 4 of the last 10. But he's delivered today. His last 2 overs were what, 6 and 4?
I think that is his strength, though.
Yeah, it is.
He's a skiddy bowler. I remember the season you're talking about when he is playing and kind of filling in for Jasprit Bumrah. He'd bowl up front and there'd be a little bit of swing, but he just skids it up front. He's not tall. He's probably 5'9" at best, and so tough up at the front. If he doesn't swing at all, he just skid nicely onto the bat with everyone trying to go over the top. So, and he found that difficulty, I think it was at Jaipur a couple of days ago, wasn't it? Yeah, so at the end, even in that game, because he kind of slings it and get it to reverse, and there's been reverse this season, he does it even better. And he's good with those Yorkers, whether they're straight or they're wide of the stumps, he goes pretty well. So he's found a role there. However, there was Sandeep Sharma, wasn't there? So it's difficult. You've got to choose who you want. If you've retained one guy and you've brought another one, that's how things are going to pan out. But just like I'm saying about Mhatre and about the youngsters in CSK, here are opportunities. A game here, a game there. Show what you can do and which your part is, and then when they try and put it together next time, you might be the guy.
Tough outing for that tall Jammu boy, Yudhvir Singh Charak as well. 3 wickets to his name. Very expensive. 4 overs, 47. 24 of those came in his first over, I think.
Yes, but thereafter, you'd much rather someone taking 3 for 47 than someone who takes none for 35, 36. So he's got 3 wickets, and he's got them. He's got what? A couple of them right at the beginning.
Yep.
So which means he's set it up in the early part. He's got the wickets, which are fine. You get the one bad over, but that happens. Yeah, it's expensive, but it's not something to say, oops, he had a terrible day or something like that. Yeah, he picked up 3 wickets, so it's okay.
Yeah, context as well, right? Like and try, we've always got to try and kind of break it up and then put it together again. And by that I mean. At that stage in the game, so here's a guy who'll bowl 2 overs, and then you bowl 1, then you'll bowl 1 again, right? And what's happening at that time in the game? You might win here, you might come back and that over goes for a lot, and it's not ideal, but you might bowl at the back end and you bowl really well, and you bring it back for the team. So this roller coaster you're talking about, perhaps you have a part to play as bowler when things like that happen.
There is another exhilarating ride for all our Cricbuzz subscribers and all our viewers, and that is Cricbuzz 11. It's an app that you've got to have on your phone. It's available free for first-time users. If you haven't made your team for this game, get it ready for MI versus DC tomorrow. Hopefully the rain won't play spoilsport, and you'll have a cracker of a game which might give us, or possibly will give us, our 4th qualifiers. 2.2 crores up for grabs, and as I said, free entry for first-time users. Download the app right away. 188 the target for the Rajasthan Royals in what will be their last outing at this IPL. This is their last game. Given how Vaibhav Suryavanshi and Jaiswal batted on a pitch like this, it should be on.
You'd imagine, but you also know what happened after that. So CSK will be sitting in there and saying, is 188 good enough? It might well be. Is it what they were on target to get? No. So my feeling is about 15, 16 short of where they could have been. But if they bowl well, look, with 188, if you get 3 or 4 good overs, the asking rate goes to 10.5, 11. But it'll be all about wickets. You take wickets early, 188 is tough to chase. If they get off to that start, 80, 90 once again, then I think they'll walk it.
Give me your number for the power play.
My power play number is 64.
69.
79. Much like the last game. You guys and girls can leave your predictions in the comment section as well, and we'll see you once again right at the end of it on Voltas Presents Cricbuzz Live. Bye-bye.
कृपया लक्ष्य द्या. जयपुर, गया, कोटा.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत।
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲನ್ನೇ ತಿರುಚಿರಾಪಳ್ಳಿ ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್ Voltas Express Railu Station Netaji Obod.